What's up guys, I am here at Heathrow Airport, Terminal 3 in London. Now loads of you have asked me to try out Virgin Atlantic at some point, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. Today I'm going to be heading across to Los Angeles, LAX, with Virgin Atlantic in upper class on board their Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. I've heard loads of great things about Virgin's upper class products, so I'm going to go and find out just how pampered we get on Virgin Atlantic in upper class. Let's head inside and find out. There's a dedicated area for upper class check-in with Virgin Atlantic. Hey, checking in please?
Sure sir, where are you travelling to?
Los Angeles. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Once you're checked in, you get to go straight up to security via your own private lift. Even the lift has its own red carpet.
Oh, we've had the red carpet treatment already there. You're just getting into the lift.
Once you get upstairs, it's through to your own dedicated security area, especially for Virgin Atlantic upper class.
Okay, thank you. Cheers, thank you.
It feels really exclusive, and you head straight through to the Virgin Atlantic upper class security area.
Hello. Hi. I've got some in the bag.
Once airside, I made my way up to the clubhouse here at Terminal 3. It's an airport lounge that I've never been in before, and one that I was really looking forward to trying out.
Hello there.
Thank you. Yours is going to be. Thank you so much. So we'll be announcing the flight about sort of 2:40.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Familiar
Cheers.
with everything?
I've not been here before. No, it's my first time. So yeah. Thank you.
So it's all table service.
Okay.
When you take a seat, one of our lovely team will be over to see you. We are still serving breakfast at the moment.
Okay.
We go on to lunch at 12 o'clock.
Lovely. Thank you.
Just down in the far right hand corner of the toilets.
Yep.
Then we have our lovely spa and salon. If you do want any treatment,
Yes.
head over there first to make
Yep,
the appointment.
get a booking,
because it's
yeah.
done on a first come, first
Okay,
served
yeah.
process.
I've got plenty of time, I think, so yeah.
The password's Loft, L-O-V-E-D.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
First stop for me inside the clubhouse was to the spa, which I've heard some really great things
Hey, I've
about.
got a treatment booked in at 12:15.
I would recommend that you book this as soon as you get into the lounge, because they do take bookings in advance and it can be quite difficult to secure a slot. First stop for me was to the shower and steam room, where I was able to freshen up after my flight over from Malta in the morning. Once I'd freshened up, it was time to head through for my massage. Upper class passengers get one complimentary treatment here in the spa in the clubhouse. I actually took two. I took a hot stone massage and a head massage, which was absolutely amazing. Wow, that was incredible. Amazing.
Thank you very much. That was lovely. Thank you.
After building up an appetite in the spa, it was time to go and check out the facilities here in the clubhouse lounge at Heathrow Terminal 3. This lounge is really spacious and comfortable, and it's a really nice design. There is full table service everywhere in the lounge, so you can get food and drink from anybody that's walking around. You just ask them for your food. Upstairs there's this really cool little loft area with a pool table, TVs to chill out in, and all sorts of things here as well. It's just a really nice vibe and a really nice environment.
Lovely.
There's a
Thank
fully
you.
stocked bar and full table service everywhere in the lounge, which means that you're never far away from getting something really nice to eat.
So I'm here at the Clubhouse Lounge at Terminal 3 Heathrow. This place is just amazing. I've just had the most incredible hot stone massage and head massage. It was just divine. And the fact you get all this before your flight, and I'm just waiting for my dinner to turn up now. It's the full table service here. You just order what you want and they bring it straight to you. It's just an incredible lounge. I have to say this is one of the best lounges that I've ever been in, and it's right here at Heathrow. It's fantastic, it really is.
I ordered some really nice sliders, which were very delicious and came to me in no time at all. This food does rate as some of the best that I've ever had in the lounge, and I do have to say that in general this lounge is probably the best airport lounge that I've ever set foot in, and that includes Qatar Airways and Turkish Airlines lounges as well. My time in the clubhouse seemed to fly by in no time at all. I was here for about 5 hours, but it seemed to pass in just an hour or two.
Thank you, bye-bye.
It was then time to head down to the gate to continue my Virgin Atlantic upper class experience, heading over to Los Angeles. Boarding today was down at gate 21. And here is our ride over to Los Angeles today. It's a 4-year-old Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, and its name is Ruby Murray. I really do like the way that Virgin linked the tail numbers of their aircraft through to the name on the front. The registration of this aircraft was G-VYUM, And the name of the aircraft was Ruby Murray, which is, of course, Cockney rhyming slang for a curry.
Hi there.
Hiya. Cheers. Thank you.
Upper class passengers get to board the aircraft first, and I soon made my way down the airbridge to the waiting aircraft.
Hello there. Hiya, I'm good, thanks. Are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all.
Good. Hiya.
Oh, you're with me today. Just on
Excellent.
class. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
Just off the side to the left. Have a lovely flight.
On entering the aircraft, I was struck immediately by the purple and pink mood lighting here in the upper class cabin. It is really nice. The seats on this aircraft are in a herringbone configuration, which means that you sit with your feet away from the window and your back to the window. I'll talk to you a little bit more about this a little later in the flight. Needless to say, it wasn't as bad as I expected it would be. Seats on the A side of the cabin here are really private and secluded. As you can see, down the middle of the cabin, you just see the backs of the seats down there as well, so you don't actually have to look at any other passengers if you don't want to, which is great if you're like me and don't much like the company of other people. The crew came round with a pre-departure glass of champagne. You also had a choice of orange juice and water if you wanted those as well. There was already a bottle of water sitting at the side of the seat when I got into it.
Dreamliner aircraft, and Bird Traffic Flight 23 to Los Angeles, California. After the flight exam, and join the company, my colleagues and co-pilots, Professors Hugh Mason and Christian Staccionoce. Hugh's taking care of the flight duties today. He'll be flying us out to LA. Taking care of you in the cabin, as you're already finding out, I'm sure. You've got a lovely team looking after you today. They're headed up by my representative in the cabin and your very capable flight service manager. That's lovely Stephanie Jones. Appreciating that Steph and the team will doing all they can to extend our very best Virgin Atlantic hospitality to you. All ready to get underway now. We have a departure slot at Heathrow, so it's going to be about 10 minutes while we wait to get air traffic approval to start engines and get you underway to Los Angeles. Once we do get going, the flight time to LA is 10 hours and 9 minutes, and you should be able to follow our flight progress on SkyMap, which is part of your individual in-flight entertainment system.
Very soon after boarding, the doors closed and we began our pushback to taxi out to the runway here at Heathrow Airport.
Take off to keep the arm exits clear, but you can still listen to the audio channels if you like. To help us complete our checks for the captain, double check your C button.
Departure today would be on runway 9 right at Heathrow, which is just a short taxi from the stand here at Terminal 3. As always though, Heathrow was pretty busy and we did have a bit of a queue for departure, which sitting on this side of the aircraft was good for because it meant that I could see all of the other aircraft taking off in front of us. Eventually though, it was our turn to line up and wait here on runway 9 right at London Heathrow, where we lined up and took off for our departure across the Atlantic to Los Angeles. As we climb into the murky skies above London, let's take a quick look at our route over to LA today. We took off to the east, turning right across Wales and Ireland, and then across the Atlantic Ocean towards Greenland. From there we entered Canadian airspace and flew down across Hudson Bay, down across Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and into the USA. From there it was down towards Salt Lake City, heading across the Rocky Mountains, over Las Vegas, for an approach and landing into LAX. Cruising altitude today was at 32,000, 34 and 38,000 feet, for a total flight time of 10 hours and 5 minutes.
Hello there, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. My
Good.
name's Danny. I'm coming
Hi,
in
Danny.
today. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
Can I offer you anything to drink at all before we serve the main meal?
Can I get a white wine, please?
Yeah, of course. What would you like? I have a really nice white from South Africa, Stellenbosch.
Okay.
There is, I believe, Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough region, actually, in
Okay.
New Zealand. Can't really turn that down, actually.
No, I'll have the Sauvignon Blanc,
Yeah,
I think.
and then there's a Riesling, German Riesling.
Yeah, Sauvignon Blanc, please. Thank you.
You actually can't beat Marlborough.
It's my favourite.
Excellent. Well, we're going to have a good day then.
Excellent. Cheers, Danny. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
I'll grab it for you in just a second. That's why I thought you said you...
Another quick glass of wine later and you'll soon begin to get the picture here that Virgin Atlantic really do feed and water you well here in upper class.
Okay, so we are airborne from Heathrow. About 40 minutes into the flight now, we are over Ireland somewhere. Let's just have a little look around the seat here, see what we have. So we have the typical Dreamliner windows there, which you can kind of dim by pressing this button here. See how it dims like that. That's pretty cool. I actually quite like the window settings on the Dreamliner because you can still see out even when the window blinds are down like that. And it makes the cabin a little bit more kind of relaxing and calm when you haven't got the sun blaring straight through. Around here we have the bed linen. So when they come and make your bed flat for you, then they put the bed linen down on the bed to give you your duvet and stuff like that. A little hatch here for your drink. IFE system, I'll go through in a little while with you. Just got the moving map on for now. There is a USB port down here and a audio port, I think, for headphones or something as well. And that just pops out. It kind of pops out like this. Unless you watch TV, movies, that kind of thing. Down here there's a secondary monitor, which kind of lights up. You can have your moving map down there if you like while you're watching your movies, so that you've always got that. Literature and the like down there. 3-pin power plug there, UK power socket. I've just got my USB charger here, charging all of my GoPros and things. Little button down there, I'm not sure what that does. Let's press it, see what happens. I think there's this little cubby hole thing recessed down into the back there. If we move over to the other side, we have the seat controls. Now the seat will only go into the reclined position as I'm in at the moment using these controls, and you can do the lumbar support as well. You can't actually put it into a flat bed using that because those controls are right down there at the bottom of the seat, which I will try out in a little while. There is this little table button here. Ooh, what happens there? Oh, it's popped out this little table from the end here. Ah, okay. Nice little table for your dinner and things there. Press the button. You usually need to push it in just like that. So yeah, it's quite a nice little seat. The windows are at the back of the seat, which is a bit of an issue. You can't really see over without craning your neck round to look out of them, but to be honest, there's not going to be a great deal to see anyway. There are many views. You can actually quite like the setup. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that the windows are behind the seats, so you can't see out of them, but to be honest, for me, this is a really nice way to fly. I've got a really concealed private little space here. If I look around here, I'm looking at nobody as I look over there, whether the seat's back onto this one. It's very private, very secluded, which is exactly why you choose this aisle on the Virgin Dreamliner, I guess. It is really nice. So I know the windows are behind you and they're kind of in an odd position. Let's say you can't just easily look out of the window, but it's not too bad. You can still look over your shoulder and see what's there. I'll go through the IFE in a little while. We'll go and take a little tour of the aircraft as well and have a wander around the upper class cabin here on the Virgin Dreamliner. But for now, I'm just going to sit back and relax and enjoy this little glass of wine that I've just been brought around by the cabin crew as we wait for our dinner.
Virgin's selection of food and drink here in upper class is truly second to none. They have a really good variety of food, starters, main courses and desserts, as well as snacks which you can order anytime in the flight. And just to give you an example here, those snacks that you can order anytime in the flight, yeah, they're kind of like gourmet burgers, salads, sandwiches and things. There's no microwave paninis here in upper class on Virgin.
Doing this yourself, honestly. This is so helpful.
Figured it out.
This makes our life so much easier.
We all work around. Yeah, we all work around you, Miss Harris. So don't worry. I can.
Thank you.
I'll just put this underneath and then we'll pop all the stuff down. Very nice you got that. 2 nights there. I'm just going to sit by the pool for 2 days.
You're there longer than me.
Sorry?
You're there longer than
Are
me.
you just 1 night?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
bad.
12 hours
I
and
think
back.
that's bad enough.
As we coasted over the west coast of Ireland into the Atlantic Ocean, the food service started. I popped up my table and out came my first course for today. It was a really nice salmon starter.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Can I get a little bit?
Yeah. Which one was it? Is that right?
The main course I had today was a chicken and leek pie with cheesy mashed potato, and it was absolutely incredible. It easily rates as the best meal I've ever had on and board an aircraft. The pastry was really light and fluffy, the mashed potatoes were absolutely divine. It really was a nice meal, just like you'd get in a pub at home. For dessert I went for a good old bread and butter pudding, and then after that there was a selection of British cheeses and port as well. The upper class cabin on Virgin's Dreamliner has a nice little bar area at the back where you can go and help yourself to food and drinks all throughout the flight, or just sit down and read as this guy was doing. There's a choice of magazines to sit and read as well. It's a really comfortable and spacious cabin. It feels very private and not at all like you're flying on a commercial airliner. The amenity kits that we were given here in upper class were of the Herschel brand. It's not a brand I've heard of before, but the stuff inside feels quite high quality. You get your usual toothbrush, toothpaste, eye masks, a little Virgin Atlantic pen as well, and a choice of facial creams and things like that. To be honest, I don't really know much about these, and these amenity kits just generally get given straight to my wife when they get home, or end up sitting in a drawer somewhere. I do like the eye masks that you get on these flights though, and I do tend to use this quite a bit. One of the things that does frustrate me a little bit about the Virgin upper class cabin here on the Dreamliner, and that's the fact that you can't just put your bed down into a flat bed yourself. You have to get the cabin crew to come and do it for you. Needless to say, I think you could probably get away with doing it yourself. It doesn't look that difficult, but it's not something you can do from the comfort of your seat. Virgin have just unveiled their new Airbus A350 cabin, and in business class they now let you make your bed yourself using the buttons at the side of the seat. It's a massive improvement if you ask me. I tried to get on the in-flight Wi-Fi here, but unfortunately it wasn't working today. The in-flight entertainment system on the 787 is pretty nice. Once you've got into it, there's a really good selection of music, TV, movies and things like that. These include Hollywood blockbuster movies, TV shows and things, and the selection of music I found to be really good as well. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that today's soundtrack for this flight was Ariana Grande's Sweetener album. It's actually a really good album. I really love her music, and I think that she's an incredibly talented singer as well. The sky map system on Virgin Atlantic is pretty cool. You get loads of different views, as you would expect for quite a modern aircraft like the Dreamliner. As we flew over Greenland, I decided it was time to lay down and get my head down for a little bit and try and get some sleep ahead of my arrival into LAX.
Alright, so I kind of went to sleep over Greenland about 3 hours into the flight, and I've just woken up and we are now approaching Salt Lake City in Utah, and we're about 8 hours into the flight, so I've had a good 6 hours sleep there actually, which was really good. This bed is so comfy. Just been woken up to afternoon tea. So a nice cup of tea and a scone with strawberry jam and a pot of cream. That's very civilised.
I decided to get up and stretch my legs a little bit and wander to the back of the cabin again. This is one of the things I love about flying business class, is that most of the time you can just get up out of your seat whenever you feel like it. The bar area at the back is pretty spacious and comfortable, and these lighting things that they have at the back of the cabin I think are really cool as well. We got some great views down over the Rocky Mountains as we flew down into the USA. It's always nice when you fly into LA or the west coast of the States because you get some great views as you come in. The skies around us gradually got a little bit busier as we headed down towards the west coast of the US. My favourite air-to-air moment on this flight was this Boeing 777 of FedEx, which was heading across from Memphis to Oakland, California. It was only 1,000 feet below us, but it feels much closer.
This is still water. There's no sparks in the car.
Flying over the Las Vegas area and getting some great views of the landscapes around the Grand Canyon, we flew over the San Gabriel Mountains and down towards the sprawling metropolis of Los Angeles. We touched down after a flight time of 10 hours and 5 minutes right on time here at LAX.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Los Angeles. For the local time here, 6 o'clock in the evening.
My flight from the UK to Los Angeles today cost me just £601. This works out to about $776 US, which makes a price per mile of just 11 pence per mile. The reason I was able to get this flight quite so cheap was because I originated today in Malta. At the time I booked it, there were some really good deals from Malta over to the west coast of the US, just connecting through Heathrow onto Virgin Atlantic. For this flight today, I was able to credit 6,805 KrisFlyer miles to my Singapore Airlines account. Unfortunately, these don't actually translate into elite miles, therefore you can't actually use them towards getting any status with Singapore Airlines, because you can only do that with Virgin on flights across to Asia and not to the USA.
Okay, thanks for Charlie Harder. Now please visit Costa Manual. Cross-check. This is the record. Welcome to Boeing Los Angeles. Just taxiing up to our final parking stand.
Harris, really lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
Hope you had a good flight.
It was amazing. Thank you.
So dashed.
Cheers. Thank you.
I left my flight with Virgin Atlantic today with a beaming smile on my face that I struggled to conceal as I walked into the terminal. It was an absolutely incredible flight.
Hiya. Esther, yes, yep. Thank you.
I don't know why it's taken me so long to fly with Virgin, but I really enjoyed it, and so far I would rank this as probably the best flight that I've ever taken. The crew went above and beyond throughout the flight to make sure I was comfortable, and were coming around with food and drinks and everything throughout the flight. My favourite moment of the flight was when I was filming some aircraft contrails out of the window from an aircraft that were just up ahead of us. The cabin crew member Danny, who was looking after me, went up to the flight deck to find out what it was, and they radioed ahead to find out it was a Norwegian Airlines Boeing 787 that was heading across to Oakland, California. I mean, really, would you really get that sort of service with any other airline? If you've ever had that sort of experience in flight, please do comment down below and let me know, because I just think it's a fantastic touch. So I am here at Los Angeles LAX International Airport in California, USA, after a marvellous flight over from London with Virgin Atlantic on their Dreamliner in upper class. Oh my god, what an amazing flight that was. I really enjoyed that. It's definitely one of my favourite flights that I've ever taken, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this video with you. I don't know why it's taken me so long to fly Virgin Atlantic, given they are one of the biggest airlines in the UK, but I will be flying them again very soon. In fact, I've got a flight booked with them next month, and I will be flying with them a lot more in the future after that, because it was just an incredible experience, really. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought of Virgin Atlantic's upper class in the comments section down below. Thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time here on the In-Flight video.